Mr. Bukman, welcome in the Congress building here in The Hague. You were a former member of the Dutch Organization of Agriculture Journalists. Now you are the Dutch Minister for Agriculture. Is there any reason for you to be happy that the IVJ Congress is held in the Netherlands this year?
Yeah, unfortunately I'm not able to attend the opening session. But I am very glad that the annual meeting will take place here in the Netherlands, because we are a little bit proud on our agriculture, and we have a lot to show to the participants in the Congress.
How important is that sector for the Dutch economy?
4 or 5% of our active population is in agriculture. But if you look at their contribution to GNP, that it is about 10 to 12%. And if you look at the export performance, then it's clear that our agricultural sector is very important. It's about 25% of the value of our total export.
The theme of the Congress is high-tech in a low country. That low country is certainly correct, but how about the high-tech in the Netherlands?
Our agriculture is, from a technological point of view, very well developed. And that has something to do with the position of an agricultural sector in an industrialized country. This country is very densely populated. The land prices are extremely high. The wages are high. The services are very costly. And a normal reaction on all those incentives is, the endeavors to earn a living in agriculture by intensifying production and by introducing new technologies as much as you can.
In some foreign media, the Netherlands is sometimes painted as an industrial agricultural country, a country with industrial farms. Do you have any idea why some foreign people have that picture from the Netherlands?
I don't know.
Is it a misunderstanding?
Yeah, it's a misunderstanding. Our agriculture is a family farm agriculture with relative small size farms. Again, a little bit above the European average, but nevertheless small.
Do the Netherlands have an image problem on that point?
No. No, at least I have no image problem. I think it's not so important what your image is when you take this into consideration, and when people have the idea that our farms are a little bit bigger than the farms in other countries. No, if that is the image, I think then it's true, but it has no negative impact on the position of our agriculture.
Will this process go on, you expect, this process of larger and larger farms?
Yeah, it will go on. When just after the war we had in this country 550,000 farmers. Now we have 110,000, 1/5, 20%. And I foresee a further decrease of the number of farmers perhaps again a decrease with 50% in the next decade. So this process is going on, but not only here. This process is going on all over the world. So there is no fundamental difference between developments here in the Netherlands and in other countries.
Less farms, does that mean more unemployment in the agriculture sector?
Less farms and a further modernization of agriculture means less people. And if there is enough economic growth and if there is enough increase of employment in other sectors, then there is no problem.
So could we say that high technology is the enemy of employment?
No, it's not the enemy, because look at the level of technology we had just after the war and the level of technology we have nowadays. In between, there is not an increase of unemployment. That you may say that things can go hand in hand. But in any case, it's clear that if there is some modernization leading to less employment in sector X, it is necessary that you, to have more employment in other sectors. Now, in this country, the services sector is increasing rapidly, so this sector can pick up potential unemployment in other sectors, in agriculture as well as in industrial sector, because also in the industrial sector we see a decrease of employment as a consequence of the introduction of higher technologies.
In the past, Mr. Bukman, the Netherlands has always been a forerunner in the field of new technical developments. Do you believe that will remain so in the future?
Now, let me give you two examples. First of all, as a consequence of our very intensive way of farming, we have a little bit more difficulties with the environmental aspects of our agriculture than agriculture in the neighboring countries, and that was an incentive for our scientific research to look for opportunities to get this environmental problem under control. So I think in this sector we are more or less a forerunner. I can give you a second example regarding marketing systems. More specifically in the horticultural sector, with a very strong dominance of cooperatives, keeping the whole marketing of the products in that sector in their hands, and introducing, I would like to say day by day, new technologies. A new technology is to keep separated the physical transport of products and the information the buyers need before they buy products. In this way you can, by introducing telecommunication systems on a small scale basis, which makes it possible to prevent all those transport of products in the area.
If you talk about environmental problems, you mean especially the manure problem?
Yeah, and the pesticides problem, and also the problems related to nitrates. That is, and that has something to do with fertilizers. So we have a cluster of environmental problems here in this country, as a logical consequence of having a very intensive type of farming, and that again has something to do with the high production costs here.
Can high technology prevent the decreasing of the herd, by the way?
I think so. I think the decrease of the volume of the production, in my view, must be prevented because this will influence the income level of our farmers that much that we must try to overcome the problem by investing in new technologies. And I think all the signals go in the same direction, that we will succeed in that endeavor.
You're sure about that?
No, I cannot give guarantees, but nobody can give guarantees on anything in this society. But I think the signals are positive. But it takes some time. We discovered the problem a few years ago, and then there is always you always run the risk that you ask too much from the sector by saying, well, today I discovered the problem and tomorrow it must be solved. And now we need some more time, but I think if you look at the developments in the technological sector. I think there are so many possibilities to keep the problem under control. But it is not an easy exercise. It will take time, it will take money, and so on and so forth.
If we talk about high tech, we think also about genetic manipulation. Is that the future of the Dutch agriculture sector?
No, I think you have genetic manipulation already for many years.
So there's nothing new.
Mainly in the arable sector. In all the endeavors to improve the quality of the cereal production. So and other types of improvement of the plant production. So genetic manipulation is nothing new, but from the moment on that you are transferring technologies to the animal sector, then people are becoming more and more critical. Now, I think there is no, you cannot say that this will be the future of Dutch agriculture. But yeah, I think it will play a role in the future. And yeah, there you have the problem how to find a balance between what is possible from a technological point of view and what is acceptable from an ethical point of view. And to find that balance is very difficult, and it has to be done, in my view, on a case-by-case basis. It is not so easy to introduce general rules for it. Because ideas about what is, from an ethical point of view, acceptable, is in history not always the same. Has not always been answered in the same way, and it's also different from country to country. So I think there are not so many general rules that can be introduced and applied in this sector.
The IVJ Congress is a meeting of agriculture journalists and public relations officers. How do you see their role in the publicity about the high tech in the Netherlands?
Telling the truth.
And that's
telling the truth.
Visiting the Netherlands.
Yeah, looking around and trying to get all the information they need and then to tell the truth.
Thank you very much for this interview, Mr. Bukman.